Tonight on CTV News, NDP backtrack.
We go back to spending all of our energy on Charlie and just loving every single day that we have left with her.
The province reinstates funding for Charlie's medication. Now some people have resigned over the flip-flop.
We paid attention to the different things we could do with the barge, and we kept that all in mind when we were designing this year's show.
Team Yukon is gearing up. What to expect for the first fireworks show tomorrow, the extra steps in securing the celebration of light.
This is certainly one of the highest numbers of local beaches that we've seen close to swimming at the same time.
Swimmers be warned, 8 Metro Vancouver beaches now have unacceptable levels of E. coli.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with an apology from BC's health minister to the family of a young girl who waged a public battle to have her costly medication covered by the province. CTV's Penny Daflos has more on why the government had a change of heart.
Little Charlie Pollock smiles despite a devastating terminal illness tugged at the heartstrings of British Columbians. And when the province pulled funding for a pricey drug to improve her symptoms, donations poured in. Hours after her first crowdfunded treatment, a welcome surprise Thursday night.
I just got off the phone with Minister Osborne and it's over. Charlie is getting her medication back.
After the initial elation wore off, Charlie's mom spoke to CTV News about her battle and the outcome.
I'm very grateful that at the end of this 6 months, the right thing has been done for Charlie.
I apologized for the pain and the suffering that they've been through as part of this. We have made decisions based on the advice of health professionals and experts.
Despite citing science, the health minister and NDP government at large faced intense criticism for pulling the $1 million a year in funding for the drug Brunera.
Healthcare having to be resolved by GoFundMe.
And so a last-ditch effort with a letter signed by a dozen experts in Batten disease.
We've all put our collective names behind this and need to make sure that we're following the appropriate evidence here.
It's a significant letter. I take it seriously. I know the minister does as well.
Osborne's decision came hours after that comment, though on Friday she insisted she was the one to make the decision to continue funding, despite disagreement over whether the drug is still helping Charlie's symptoms.
It's become abundantly clear that there is significant debate among experts about the criteria that are used in Canada to guide the use and funding of Brunera. These are complex decisions, but children like Charlie should not be caught in the middle of such disagreements between experts and clinicians.
There has been fallout, however. The Ministry of Health confirms 4 members of BC's Expensive Drugs for Rare Diseases Committee have resigned. There are approximately 50 members on the committee, which includes subcommittees. Charlie's family is eager to put all of this behind them.
We go back to spending all of our energy on Charlie and just loving every single day that we have left with her.
Penny Daflos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Breaking news, a murder investigation has been launched in Richmond after what police are calling a serious incident at a high-rise near Capstan Station. Craig Krause is following this in the Breaking News Center. Craig?
Mi Jung, we don't have many details at this point, but this is what we do know. So our Richmond RCMP were called to a residential unit in the 8600 block of Capstan Way at around 20 to 11 this morning. When they got there, they say they found a female victim when she was rushed to hospital, where she later died. A male suspect has been arrested, with police saying there is no ongoing risk to public safety. Anyone with information is asked to call the iHit information line that's on your screen right now. Mi Jung?
Thank you, Craig. Vancouver police are seeking witnesses after a senior was seriously injured in a hit and run. The 70-year-old pedestrian was crossing Grandview Highway at Slocan Street just before 5:30 p.m. last Friday when she was struck by a gray SUV. The driver didn't stop, and the woman was taken to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. Police say they believe several bystanders attempted to chase after the vehicle, but they are hoping to speak with them. Another hit and run in Burnaby last night that left 2 seniors with serious injuries. Emergency crews were called to Willingdon Avenue at Union Street around 9:30, where they found the 2 women aged 73 and 85. They were both taken to hospital. Police say the suspect vehicle did not remain on scene. The celebration of light fireworks extravaganza returns to English Bay tomorrow night. It is the biggest free public event of the year in Vancouver, and this time features an all-Canadian lineup. CTV's Martin McMahon is live in English Bay, and Martin, you had a chance to tour the barge where the fireworks are all loaded up.
Jung, it's everyone here is getting ready for a big party with hundreds of thousands of people expected to descend on the West End. That show tomorrow starting at 10 with a drone performance, and then the main event, the fireworks, start at 10:15.
This is where the preparations for Saturday's show are underway, on a barge floating in English Bay, where the water has been rough.
It's been very challenging this weekend. My team started on Monday, getting everything ready, and each team has 3 days to put it in. So this is day 2 for Yukon, and tomorrow's their show.
And this is where the fireworks will shoot from. The architects of Team Yukon, a married couple who met as firefighters.
Our theme is 20,000 Leagues Under English Bay. It's a show that's inspired, obviously, by the movie, the old movie. We wanted to do something that was nautical themed.
Well, this is our second time here competing, and I think we really paid attention to the audience reaction. We paid attention to the different things we could do at the barge, and we kept that all in mind when we were designing this year's show to try and make it even better yet.
But an operation this complicated needs a team, and that includes technician Colin Van Uchelen, who is blind.
We're putting in an electronic match into each one, and so what I need to do is prepare it by opening up the port here at the end, inserting the match, we tape it closed. Then Brian next to me is wrapping it with plastic to keep it dry and foil to keep sparks off of it.
From which wires to cut, to how you move things around a floating barge full of explosives, it's an environment where everything needs to be done with care. And the smallest details matter.
We bury it in the sand in case of an in-mortar explosion, and that will keep the rest of the tubes from reorienting themselves and shooting where they shouldn't.
Team Yukon were the celebration of light winners in 2022, while representing Canada.
So that's all the fun stuff, but what might make you a little grumpier, especially if you live in this area, is all of the road closures that are going to kick in at around 6 o'clock tomorrow. So it's going to be a mess if you're driving in anywhere around the West End tomorrow. If you do have to come downtown, or if you're coming down to enjoy the festivities, just take transit. There's going to be extra trains and buses that are probably going to make your life a lot easier. Keep in mind, there's also going to be a big police presence. You'll notice these new barriers set up by the Vancouver Police Department throughout the event around the key entrance points into the area, and 400 extra officers beyond what's normally on patrol are going to be out and about in the West End. Jung?
Martin McMahon reporting live tonight from English Bay. And the beaches around English Bay will be packed tomorrow ahead of the fireworks, but they are not suitable for swimming right now. They are among 8 Metro Vancouver beaches with high levels of E. coli. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has more.
There are signs up here at Kitts Beach telling visitors not to swim, but the beach itself is still safe to enjoy.
At this time, they're not closed for overall use, so people can still attend them to relax, to spend time with their friends and family.
As of Friday morning, Dundedrave Beach in West Vancouver, English Bay, Kitts Beach, Second Beach, Sunset Beach, Third Beach, Trout Lake, and Lions Bay are all not suitable for swimming. An advisory is issued when E. coli levels in the water are too high.
Animal sources, so things like dogs and geese, have been noted to often contaminate beach areas. And as well as that, in terms of human sources, we know that discharge from boats, potentially overflow or leaking from sewers, can be a contributor as well.
Ingesting the water can be dangerous, causing severe gastrointestinal infections. Schwant advises people also keep their pets away. He says the number of beaches affected is high.
This is certainly one of the highest numbers of local beaches that we've seen closed to swimming at the same time in recent years.
Several other beaches are undergoing further water testing but are open for swimming. Taking a dip at Jericho Beach or Wreck Beach is so far still permitted.
Oftentimes when an initial sample might be at a borderline range, we'll have retesting conducted to see if this was just a transient issue or if indeed there is a pattern suggestive of severe contamination.
People are advised to check Vancouver Coastal Health's beach water quality map before swimming for all of the latest updates. Yasmin Gantim, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new mosquito study is getting underway in BC's Sea to Sky region aimed at tracking potential viruses and helping locals stay safe. Vancouver Coastal Health and the BC CDC have launched a pilot project to monitor mosquito populations. It comes after a small number of BC cases last year involving mosquito-borne illnesses, specifically the snowshoe hare and Jamestown Canyon viruses, which can cause encephalitis or swelling of the brain. While these are not new infections in the province, the number and severity of the cases triggered an investigation which found all 4 patients likely acquired the infections within the Sea to Sky corridor. Officials say mosquito traps have been set up at select spots throughout the region. Scientists have confirmed a long-debated theory about earthquakes in our region. We know there's potential for large quakes and tsunamis off the south coast, but they now know there is another likelihood way up north. Sinjin Alexander has the details.
Here it is. I was just really weird.
Earthquake. The type of quake that hit Haida Gwaii in October 2012 baffled scientists. Here it is striking just after 8 o'clock in the middle of a wedding.
Ladies were crying and people were grabbing pies off the tables, and that's when you know it's all over.
It showed the same kind of behavior they'd expect around the Cascadia subduction zone off Vancouver Island. Not here.
We were standing there, and it just kept going and kept going.
This was one of the largest ever recorded in Canada and had a thrust mechanism, leading to debate. There must be a spot along the Queen Charlotte Fault, which it's still called, where one plate is creeping under another.
So not just sliding, but also going a bit under.
Enter Dalhousie University, along with scientists from around the world. Using a hydrophone streamer, think of it as a really long wire with thousands of underwater microphones. They scoured the fault from the tip of the BC coast into Alaska. And sure enough, there is a spot where the Pacific plate is dipping under the North American plate. This now allows scientists to predict what kinds of quakes to expect.
They're both large, but the ones when there is a big one plate pushes underneath other is the type where it can produce tsunamis.
The shake in 2012 was huge, but not a lot of damage was done.
We're gonna have to get somebody in to fix these.
Likely because it was far enough away and there isn't a huge population. But when a tsunami warning was issued, there was a long, slow traffic jam to get out of town. In the end, no wave. But scientists now know there's potential.
It allows us to understand what could happen, and therefore then we can prepare. And also not just prepare to save lives, but also to save any infrastructure.
Now what still baffles scientists is when and how big an event might be. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Several dozen paddleboarders hit the chilly waters of Boundary Bay, some literally as they took part in relay races to raise money for the Surrey Hospitals Foundation. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, all the proceeds will go to support youth mental health programs.
With the sound of an air horn, the first race got underway in the 2025 Champion of the Crescent fundraiser. Each relay team of 4 raised at least $3,000 to take part in the event.
The water is refreshing, right? When you work as hard as we work, it feels good to get a little cold.
All funds raised go towards youth mental health programming at Surrey Memorial Hospital. Event organizers set a goal of raising $275,000. In years past, some of the money has gone to transition services.
Providing services in the community once people have come in and accessed acute mental health in the hospital, it's really important to ensure that that transition home is supported and supported well.
According to staff at Fraser Health, most people living with mental health issues tend to first experience them between the ages of 14 and 24.
So the sooner we're able to get services in place and help support an individual, it really helps them to recover and then put them on that positive trajectory in life.
Organizers did not immediately have a final tally of the funds raised, but said between corporate sponsors and individuals, they were closing in on their goal.
We're a young community. You know, we got to take care of our youth, not only physically, but mentally, right? There's struggles that we don't appreciate as adults and navigating things. We've got to put mental health front and center.
Although it was meant to be a friendly fundraiser, things got serious at the end with a sprint to the finish on the beach. Ben Milger, CTV News, Surrey.
Restaurants and bars could soon be toasting later hours. Details on a proposal coming before Vancouver City Council also ahead.
A brother and sister that hadn't seen each other for a long time. It was very, very sweet.
Orphaned bear cubs reunited after their mother was killed. The challenge now, the care center's cost to raise them. When CTV News continues, stay with us. 2 orphaned bear cubs are getting a second chance after their mom was shot and killed in Maple Ridge last month. CTV's Michelle Bernaro with more on how the cubs were rescued and what's next.
This video showing 2 cubs only about 6 months old shortly after they were reunited at Critter Care Wildlife Society in Langley.
Brother and sister that hadn't seen each other for a long time. It was very, very sweet.
They became orphaned June 12th after the mama bear attacked a 73-year-old woman as she stepped onto her back deck at night. The bear was later shot by police. The cubs took off and rescue groups spent weeks trying to find them.
They didn't really stand a chance being left out in the open. They were susceptible to predators.
Maple Ridge Black Bear Society worked with Critter Care trying to trap the baby bears. The male cub was found the first week of July, the other just on Sunday.
Just very grateful for the people of Maple Ridge for helping us get these bears into care, because it really, you know, it's very, it's just a nice thing that they're not out there by themselves now.
Meanwhile, the public is being asked to do what they can to avoid bear interactions.
We're just hoping that we can get the message out there for everybody to please keep their trash away and close their garages when they're not using them.
Williams says it will cost about $4,000 to care for each bear.
They're all doing fantastically well, doing excellently, and they're growing at a rate that I cannot believe.
He says the male cub is now about 35 pounds, or just over 11 kilograms. His sister, about 21 pounds. If all goes as planned, the cubs are expected to be released back into the wild next June, as far away from people as possible. Michelle Bernaro, CTV News, Langley.
A dog in the Okanagan is being hailed a hero after a routine bathroom break quickly turned into a rescue mission. Meet Lainey, the Shih Tzu with a nose for saving lives. While out for a late-night walk in Peachland last week, the pup led her owner to a bush where the 2 tiny kittens were found shivering and scared. Lainey's owner scooped them up and eventually brought them into the SPCA. They were thin and in poor health, but are expected to make a full recovery and will soon be ready for adoption. With a good nose comes great responsibility, and Lainey lived up to that responsibility.
And I hope Lainey got big steaks and lots of treats.
Oh, cute little kittens.
Yeah,
hope they're doing better.
I wonder if they want to live with Lainey. That'll be interesting. All right, let's take a look at our forecast. The cloudy skies have cleared out of the way. We're seeing a mix of sun and cloud right now across the lower mainland. Cooler today, 22 at the harbor, 21 in Burnaby. You're looking at 23 in Surrey right now, and 19 in White Rock. As we head through the overnight, we'll see increasing cloud coverage. So cloudy, 13 degrees, which is seasonal. Into tomorrow, we'll start off cloudy. It does clear up as we head through the afternoon. And then we will see cooler temperatures with a high only of 20 degrees.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises. Explore the endless possibilities at one of our 36 BC locations. Learn more at expediacruises.ca.
So enjoy the cooler conditions this weekend because it heats up once again as we head into next week. I've got those details coming up.
Did we get any drops of rain today?
We did. When I was walking in, a few sprinkles, nothing too bad at all, but yeah, we'll take them.
All right, thanks, Al. Why Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is calling for an apology from the city of Jasper over a report that criticized her government. Also ahead.
There's absolutely a role to be played for different forms of forest management, including control burns.
what experts are predicting for the rest of the wildfire season, and the call to tackle climate change to prevent more devastation. That's ahead. Last call at Vancouver bars and restaurants may be getting later as the city considers changes to its liquor service hours. A report from the chief license inspector that looks to modernize and streamline regulations will be brought to Vancouver City Council on Tuesday. Proposed changes include extending closing time to 3 a.m. for bars downtown and to 3 a.m. on weekends and 2 a.m. weeknights to outside of downtown. It would also allow for temporary extensions for special events and remove restrictions on service hours for newly licensed establishments. From destroyed communities to smoky air to lengthy evacuations, it has been a devastating and fatal wildfire season in Canada, and it's only mid-July. Ottawa is now warning there is a high risk of more wildfires in August. CTV's Mike Lecoultre has more on the forecast for the rest of the year.
We're at the halfway point of the year, and while Canada isn't on track to break a record for wildfires, it could be the second worst year in the last decade. There are 561 wildfires burning across Canada right now, and conditions for the rest of the summer will be ripe for more. Still, federal officials say they're ready to protect communities.
Whether that's water bombers, whether that's a requirement for the Canadian Armed Forces to do an evacuation, whether that's helping with supplying things like fire hoses, whether that's it can be a broad assortment of matters that we're concerned with.
Officials say so far this year, wildfires have burned 5.5 million hectares of land. That's more than double the average over the last decade. To give you an idea of the scope, that's nearly 8 times the size of the Greater Toronto Area. Today, the federal government announced a $12 million investment over 4 years to establish the Wildfire Resilience Consortium of Canada.
It will connect domestic, international governments, the private sector, wildfire scientists and experts, and affected communities to share knowledge, science, and technology so we can fight fires better.
But it's not a national disaster agency, which was first considered 2 years ago during the record-setting wildfire season of 2023. And environmental researchers say prevention is also key.
There's absolutely a role to be played for different forms of forest management, including control burns, including various types of timber harvesting and things like that, that can be done to reduce the amount of fuel that's on the landscape.
But Kaplan is adamant. He says the big fires we're seeing now are being driven by climate change. And he adds the best way to mitigate the fires is to get a handle on greenhouse gas emissions. Mike Lecoultre, CTV News, Ottawa.
Cooler weather in the forecast is expected to bring some relief to wildfire crews here in BC this weekend. South of Princeton, the Placer Creek wildfire hasn't gotten any bigger, but is still considered out of control. The Lower Similkameen Indian Band shared that the winds predicted yesterday were not as intense as originally feared. There are currently 73 active wildfires burning in the province. Turning now to an Alberta by-election that will be watched across the country. The group that targeted Pierre Poilievre's Ottawa riding in the last federal election is at it again. The longest ballot group ran dozens of candidates in Poilievre's Carleton riding during the April election. The Conservative leader lost his seat to Liberal Bruce Fanjoy. Now, Poilievre is running in Battle River Crowfoot after the Conservative MP stepped down to allow for a by-election. As of today, more than 100 candidates are registered in the riding. The majority are with the longest ballot group. A spokesperson says they're getting lots of complaints, which proves the point they're trying to make.
They're saying, like, well, why can't Elections Canada fix this? And the longest ballot people, we agree. Why can't a third party that's independent from the government fix, anything or change election laws? But the problem is that it's the winners that dictate how the election laws are done. The members of parliament, they're the ones that have to decide it. And then in turn, is it going to happen? Probably not until it starts to affect them a little bit. And so it's putting that little pressure on.
The group wants to register at least 200 candidates. The by-election is scheduled for August 18th. Crisscrossing the country to set a record for the longest rideshare trip and promote a Canadian-based app. Also ahead.
Release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files.
The raging political firestorm over the Jeffrey Epstein files. Now Donald Trump threatens to sue over a lewd letter allegedly sent to the sex offender. That's ahead. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is firing back after a report into last summer's devastating wildfires in Jasper criticized her government's response. The report, commissioned by the town, surveyed firefighters and others who battled the flames. It says provincial interference hindered efforts by incident commanders, forcing them to spend time managing issues instead of fighting the fire. Smith is calling for an apology, saying she's disappointed the report didn't acknowledge the province's swift deployment of crews, emergency funding, and operational support.
At no point did they say they did not want our response, and so this report comes as a shot out of the blue. It's unfair, it's untrue, and I would like them to withdraw it.
Jasper is under federal jurisdiction, and Danielle Smith believes Parks Canada should have asked for provincial support sooner, saying they weren't asked to help until after the fire breached the town. U.S. President Donald Trump filed a lawsuit against 2 Wall Street Journal reporters today after the paper reported he sent Jeffrey Epstein a letter for his birthday back in 2003. This comes as his administration faces backlash from his base over its handling of the Epstein files. ABC's Perry Russum reports.
President Trump ordering Attorney General Pam Bondi to seek the release of additional material tied to Jeffrey Epstein. Trump posting online, "I've asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval."
The issue is what can be given to the public. Normally, the Department of Justice is not going to reveal the names of uncharged individuals, people who are co-conspirators perhaps, until they're charged.
Trump trying to calm down growing frustration over his administration's handling of the Epstein files and theories of a possible client list, which the DOJ and FBI said earlier this month does not exist. ABC News has learned that a publicly released FBI catalog of investigation records show part of the still unreleased files include logbooks for Epstein's private island. Trump today threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal after the Journal reported Trump allegedly sent Epstein a letter in 2003 for his birthday. ABC News has not been able to confirm the existence of the letter. Trump posting online, "I look forward to getting Rupert Murdoch to testify in my lawsuit against him and his pile of garbage newspaper, the WSJ. That'll be an interesting experience."
Release the Epstein files. Release the Epstein files.
Last night, heated debates on the House floor.
Here's the problem. The grand jury testimony is largely about Epstein and Maxwell, not about all the rich and powerful men who abused, assaulted, and abandoned young women.
Some Democrats blasting House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Mr. Speaker, you guys are so weak that you won't even vote to release the files.
Johnson responding.
We will see how all this develops. We're in line with the White House. There's no daylight between us. We want transparency, and I think that will be delivered for the people.
Pressure is building to release all the Epstein files from Republicans to Trump's base, allies who got him back to the White House. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Turning now to a successful and adorable rescue mission in Winnipeg.
Ducks fell inside here and we need to lift it up.
A woman spotted a duck frantically pacing on the road. She then discovered a group of trapped ducklings that fell through a grate. She called her husband, a firefighter with experience in rescuing animals, who rushed to the scene. After lifting the grate, the couple removed the ducklings and they waddled directly back to their mom. A new Canadian rideshare company is hoping to break a world record with their cross-country trip. Hover launched in Toronto last year and hopes to expand across the country. The CEO arrived in Vancouver today to spread the word about their Canadian alternative to Uber and Lyft. They say their membership model helps keep more money in Canada.
Because the drivers get 100% of the fares, it means that we can charge riders less and help pay drivers more.
Hover hopes to break the world record for the world's longest rideshare trip with their coast-to-coast journey. Fallout from CBS canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Donald Trump today applauding the move. Also ahead, we catch up with an Ottawa rescue cat that was tipping the scales at 43 pounds. How the person behind his weight loss journey now wants to help other obese cats. That's ahead.
Answer.
CBS under fire from the Writers Guild of America after canceling The Late Show just 3 days after Stephen Colbert called out parent company Paramount for its $16 million settlement with Donald Trump. We'll have that right after Anne's forecast. But first, in Ottawa, a rescue cat's weight loss journey has inspired a rehab and sanctuary for other obese felines. The influential cat known as Biggie Smalls was rescued a year and a half ago, weighing 43 pounds. That's about 4 times the size of an average cat. Today, Biggie is closer to 26 pounds, thanks to a new diet and exercise regime. The woman who rescued Biggie and helped him along his health journey now wants to do the same for other chunky cats.
When we got Biggie, we got so many shelters that reached out saying, do you know any rescues or places that we can send these severely, like extremely overweight cats? And there was nothing in the world I could find.
She's converted her garage into the Big House Sanctuary and Rehab. The space is meant to give plus-sized felines a second chance at life, as many get euthanized in shelters due to their extra needs. There are 5 cats there now, all thanks to Biggie Smalls' huge impact. She set up a nice little sanctuary, a cool little co-op for cats, right?
I can't believe that's her garage. That's amazing.
Looks very chic. And I guess maybe cats get obese because they don't get to go outside for walks like dogs,
No, they need catios, you know, get them a harness, try something. But I'm glad she's doing that to help other chunky cats. Adorable. All right, let's take a look at our forecast now. As we head into the weekend, it was cooler for us here along the south coast, but still hot for the interior. The hot spot across the country was Warfield at 32.6 degrees, not close to the records set back in 1960 at 38.3 degrees. This is what it looks like right now from our camera on top of Grouse Mountain, looking out towards downtown Vancouver. Hazy up top. We are seeing mostly sunny skies out there. We do have cooler air aloft, active weather for the southern interior, stretching all the way to the Kootenay region. We do have another ridge of high pressure building offshore, and that will strengthen as we head into next week. So as we head into the weekend, we will see increasing cloud coverage through the overnight into tomorrow morning. As you can see in green, there's spotty showers at best. We probably won't see really anything develop as we head into the day, and then it clears up quite nicely through the afternoon and evening hours. So expect to see active weather for the southern interior and central interior. Your provincial forecast at the bottom of your screen. Mix of sun and cloud for Port Hardy tomorrow with a high of 17 degrees. Mostly sunny skies and 22s for Campbell River and Comox. For the South Island, overcast skies for Tofino at 16. Other than that, you're looking at partly cloudy conditions from Port Alberni right down to Victoria, with temperatures between 19 and 26 degrees for the Sunshine Coast. A mix of sun and cloud and 21. A touch warmer up the Sea to Sky Highway, 22 for Squamish, 23 for Whistler, and for us across the Lower Mainland, we will start off cloudy. It does clear up with temperatures between 20 and 22 degrees. Heading into Sunday, we'll start off cloudy as well, clearing up with a high of 21. On Monday, we'll see 23 degrees, mostly sunny skies, and then it warms up once again. Tuesday, inland temperatures will reach 27, 29 degrees inland on Wednesday. Thursday, we'll see 23 degrees with sunny skies and highs and inland temperatures reaching 26. Cooling down once again on Friday, a mix of sun and cloud and a high of 21. CTV weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. So not too bad, a little bit of cool down. You don't have to wear your wet socks anymore into the weekend, but keep them handy for next week.
Well, like you said, I should try them. Last night my room was like 29 degrees, so I tried them for a little bit. I think it did cool me down, but it felt weird wearing wet socks.
You have wet feet.
So I took them off, but it was a temporary measure that sort of did the trick.
All right, try them again next week.
Yeah, if I am desperate, I will pull them out again. Thanks, Anne.
Welcome.
More fallout today on the shocking end of an era in late-night comedy. We broke the news last night that CBS is canceling The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Some critics now calling the move politically motivated. Donald Trump celebrating on social media, writing, quote, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired." CBS calls it a purely financial decision, but it comes just 2 weeks after parent company Paramount settled a lawsuit lodged against CBS by the president. In a statement, CBS says the move is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount.
There's a lot of speculation that the deal was riding on perhaps getting rid of Stephen Colbert, who has been a target of Trump's really severe animus because he is a very stringent comic making fun of Donald Trump. So there's reason for this kind of speculation.
To be properly.
Today, the Writers Guild of America called for an investigation by New York's Attorney General into whether Colbert's cancellation is itself a bribe, sacrificing free speech to curry favor with the Trump administration. New episodes will air until the end of the broadcast TV season next May. The red sled, known as Rosebud from the classic movie Citizen Kane, has sold at auction for $14.75 million US. That's more than 20 million Canadian. Rosebud. It's the last word uttered on Kane's deathbed, launching a journalist's investigation into what turns out to be the name of a childhood sled. The prop that just sold at auction is one of 3 known surviving Rosebud sleds from Orson Welles' 1941 masterpiece and had belonged to director Joe Dante. It was sold at Heritage Auctions in California Wednesday. The purchaser has not been identified. The whip used by Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade has sold at auction for more than $500,000 US. That's more than 700,000 Canadian. Ford gave it to then Prince Charles at the film's UK premiere in 1989. Charles gifted it to Princess Diana, who then gave it to the latest owner, who has not been identified. Also up for auction is Darth Vader's lightsaber, which is expected to sell for up to $3 million. Friday feel-goods, cookouts on the drive, puppy yoga, and a Shrek rave. Our weekly look at fun events to check out in Metro Van is next. Plus, athletic artistry. Adam finds out the connection between lifting huge weights and painting large walls. Next on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of CTV Morning Live.
Kindness counts, even to a 5-day-old baby. That's according to a new study out of UBC. Why our ability to understand the social world may be built into our brains from birth. Plus, getting outdoors this summer, how to safely explore BC's wilderness. See you in the morning.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live, weekdays 6 to 9.
Two extremely rare lobsters that were supposed to be sold and eaten have been saved from the dinner plate. A pale blue lobster named Moon Mist, after a beloved maritime ice cream flavor, has a color mutation estimated to occur in a 1 in a million. And the red and black lobster named Bingo is even rarer. It has a color mutation that's estimated to occur in 1 in 50 million lobsters. The pair will spend much of the summer at the back to the Sea Centre in Nova Scotia before they are returned to the ocean. And I know you love lobster.
Wow, how much would they have charged for that? They're 1 in 50 million.
You're curious, aren't you?
Not that I would eat them.
Interesting colors, though. Okay, it's time for Friday Feel Goods, a weekly roundup of unique events happening in Metro Vancouver. Here are 3 things worth checking out. A Shrek rave is happening at the Pearl tonight, giving you a chance to release your inner ogre. The concept was first launched in LA back in 2022 and has since exploded into a global touring phenomenon that often sells out venues. Far from your average rave, this event is full of fairy tale creatures dancing to EDM remixes of Shrek soundtrack hits.
So fun, and this is fun as well. The dog days of summer are officially here as the Bark Park returns to the Bentall Center. Starting on Saturday at noon, you can take a husky puppy yoga class, then head to a Poshin show starring the city's most stylish pups. There'll also be dog biscuit decorating, puppy portraits, and a beer garden on site until 6 p.m. I've taken Lucy there.
Oh,
super fun for all dog lovers.
And she gets really into it?
No, I did.
It's more about the owners,
yes.
right?
And another green as a new event is happening tonight on Commercial Drive. Livia, a bakery and wine bar, is hosting Friday night cookouts all summer. For the second event of the series, a seafood boil and a blueberry cobbler will be on the menu. People are welcome to eat inside or spill onto Livia's new piazza at Commercial and Kitchener.
Always fun to eat outside.
Yeah,
isn't
sounds
it?
delicious.
And the weather will hold up to this weekend for
and I think
it, right?
it's perfect for outside dining.
Okay, well, if you have any events you would like us to highlight, email your tips to ctvfeelgoods@ctv.ca. Well, Ghostbusters were known to investigate strange things in the neighborhood, but in Canada, we call someone else forget the gaggle. This brood goes by the Geese Gang, alert and on patrol on a Toronto area street. These Cobra chickens aren't letting any vermin run free. You know, geese are very confident wherever they are, including the ones in Vancouver. They just take over whatever street.
I walk in the opposite direction. I will cross the street.
Yeah, they can be aggressive.
They just take over. They command their area.
Yeah, and traffic has to come to a stop, right? Okay, Craig, what's coming up tonight on the late news?
Well, Mijung, we are following a recent report of a sharp increase in sophisticated bank card scams here in Vancouver. Police say it involves fraudsters posing as bank investigators. There has been dozens of reports and more than $1 million has been stolen. Cash, gold, and other high-value assets have been ripped away from its owners. We will have more details from police coming up at 11:30.
And what's sad, it's often seniors who get hit by these scammers.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Craig. Finally, from lifting weights to creating murals, Adam shows us how a competitive strongman traded in brute strength for bold strokes on tonight's Encore. Sawatsky sign off.
Jesse Campbell will never forget when he decided to compete in his first strongman competition as a lark.
I was never really athletic as a kid.
So you can imagine how it felt when he not only realized what his body was capable of, but how competitive he could be.
That was the first time I ever won like a trophy in anything.
And it proved to be anything but beginner's luck.
So I've been kind of chasing that high ever since.
And thanks to countless hours of training ever since, including multiple reps deadlifting his truck, Jesse's won dozens of local, provincial, national, and world competitions, realizing misconceptions along the way.
You think of these big aggro men with covered in tattoos, and there's a lot of that, for sure. But more so, it's we all understand what's involved in the effort, and we cheer each other on.
And that, Jesse says, inspired him to be more patient, more empathetic, and more willing to reconsider what he had been cheered for since he was a child.
Because everyone wanted me to be an artist. I didn't want to do what people wanted to tell me to do, so I decided to go the opposite direction.
After spending years doing the opposite, Jesse felt empowered to step out of the box and put the same effort into art.
You can't just think your way into a painting. You actually have to do it.
So Jesse implemented the skill set that made him successful in sport, including patience and persistence, to start creating almost a dozen murals that have proved to be both physically challenging and artistically satisfying.
So the original intention behind this piece was acknowledging the sort of the animal athlete in our lives.
Fittingly created across from a sports field, Jesse, who's Métis, commissioned a Coast Salish artist to create designs for his mural. It's a balance of images that's similar to the way Jesse is now unifying the different aspects of himself.
It's just removing that conception of you have to be like this or like that. You can be whatever you want to be. As long as you're interested, you can find a way. Where that takes you is up to you.
Adam Swansky, CTV News, Saanich.
Wow.
Multi-talented, man. I'm still thinking of him lifting that huge tire. I can barely lift up my snow tire to put in the back of the car.
Well, he's deadlifting his own truck at home to
just
practice.
for fun.
So, yeah, that's amazing. All right, let's take a look at our scenic snapshot to finish off the work week. A cool shot of this thunderhead over Arrowhead. Thanks, Corey, for sending this amazing photo in. And we want to see your scenic snapshot as well. So email us at scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Beautiful. And for people who don't know where Arrowhead is,
just near Revelstoke.
Yeah, so many beautiful spots in our province that need to be explored, right? All right, thanks, Anne. Craig's back tonight at 11:30. Thanks for joining us.